Well, circling back to our top story on Malaysia's upcoming election, we're joined now by James Chin. He's Professor of Asian Studies at the University of Tasmania. Good evening. James, Malaysia's political turmoil, it's had an economic cost, and caretaker Prime Minister Ismail Sabri said that in this general election, he hopes for political stability to be returned. It's difficult enough to get things done with the present political climate. Will these snap polls really help end the country's political instability that we've seen and move towards this larger task of actually improving the lives of Malaysians?
Good evening. So the easy answer to that question is that it depends on the majority of the new government. The reason why we had political instability for the last couple of years in Malaysia was because the governments that were formed had a very, very small majority. So currently, Ismail Sabri has a majority of only 3 to 4 seats. So it really depends on the results of the election that will be held at the end of November. If the new government comes in with a solid majority, and solid majority means that they have a majority of more than 20 seats, then I don't foresee any problem. Malaysia will revert back to political stability. You have to remember that prior to 2018, Malaysia was widely seen as a very, very politically stable country, essentially ruled by the Barisan Nasional since independence. They had regular elections, everything ran smoothly. So I really do see that situation coming back. I don't see, a situation where the new governing coalition after the elections will be a governing coalition with a small majority. I see a governing coalition that will emerge with a very, very clear majority. And I also see the emergence of a dominant Malay party. So we will get back political stability after November's elections.
James, in these elections, we're very likely to see multiple three-cornered fights for those treasured parliamentary seats. Now, since the dissolution of Parliament on October the 10th, those parties, and there are plenty of them, they've been strengthening the election machinery in all of their divisions. Numerous alliances, we know, are already in the works. What can we expect as parties prepare for November the 19th? How are they going to strategize?
So I think several things will happen before the nomination date on the 5th of November. So I think the 3 major coalitions, which is the Barisan Nasional, Perikatan Nasional, Pakatan Harapan, I think there will be a scramble to sort out several key issues before nomination day. The first one, obviously, is that they got to get the candidates list ready. This is not as simple as people think, especially in a coalition. You have to bargain in terms of the seat allocation with your members of the same coalition. Some of the seats are highly competitive, so everybody wants the seat. Secondly, obviously, they got to get the election machinery in order. The third one is something completely new in Malaysia. There's going to be approximately 7 million new voters, and the bulk of them will be young people, 18, 19, and 20-year-old. So I suspect all the parties will scramble to get their social media thing in place. Most of them are currently still discussing about how to put their social media strategy together. So I think there'll be a last-minute rush. The other 2 items, of course, is that there will also be a last-minute rush to put the manifesto together. And also, they need to get the finances right. Elections in Malaysia are extremely expensive affairs. The last election that was held in 2018, more than R1 billion was spent on the elections. This time, it will probably be even more than that.
It's going to be a very expensive election indeed. One quick final question for you, James. It's a changed landscape for for GE15. Battlegrounds, talk to us about that, because the last time we saw Kedah, Selangor, Kelantan, even Johor in play, of course. Which are the ones that we should be looking out for this time?
So in terms of the key battlegrounds, it will be fairly similar to GE18. I think Negeri Sembilan, Perlis, Kedah, Johor, and probably Pahang will be the key battle states. The trick in Malaysia is that there's really 2 big blocks that you have to win over. One is so-called the rural Malay seats, and they account for 80 to 90 seats in Peninsular Malaysia. And the other is the Sarawak-Sabah block. That consists of 57 seats. So you have to win a majority of these 2 blocks in order to form government.
James, thank you very much for that. That was Professor James Chin there from the University of Tasmania.